okay, there's a whole new meta. Cards have been banned. I know you're all dying to figure out what's the good deck, right? What do tournaments look like? What's the meta? What's the top 16? So I got a super big event, SCGCon, DC, cEDH 5K, and this top 16 is not stacked. It's kind of stacked. There's like good decks, but it's just spicy as heck. All right, so we got Godo that won the whole event. We'll take a look at Godo. We'll take a look at all the kind of cool decks here. All right, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But you got to look at this because look, there's a Sorin. There's a Bjorna, whatever. There's the Yam Gang. Yam Gang's represented. There's a Sans White 4-color deck. There's Queen Kayla bin Kroog. And then if we go a little lower, there's a Master of Keys, all right? And there's like other cool decks here. So we're going to go through all the decks here. We're going to go through kind of like, not all of them, but most of them. Go through most of the decks. I take a look at what they are, figure out how they work, talk about some of the cards I like, and then, you know, we'll go from there, right? So let's just kind of dive into Godo, right? Let's do that. I like going visual because I'm a visual learner. Nope, not this one. It's visual grid. All right. We have a Karn here, white border Karn. Nice. This is pretty interesting. I guess we're targeting like the artifact meta now because the meta is slower. So having an asymmetrical hate piece seems kind of decent. I assume if you're Godo, you're still trying to do your best to like kind of play Godo as many times as you can, and cards that don't facilitate towards ramping out is like less prioritized or like less important. But I guess because you can't just always just play mana and go, having a Karn or even a Fury, pretty interesting, is good. I assume Fury's here just to attack all the dorks, attack like a Dranith Magistrate. You know, that seems pretty important. That will stop your deck. And being able to exchange a useless red card to like clean up the board a little bit is pretty good. Sorry to say your cards are useless. They're not useless. Jaxus makes sense. Metalworker makes sense. We have a free land that can sometimes be a spell that returns an instant or sorcery. Basically a free spell. This is interesting. This is just removal that can't be countered. So you just channel this and pop like a Bowmaster, I guess. I don't know what you would care about. But the channel ability is probably pretty good here. That's the only reason why you play this. It's 2 mana shock that is uncounterable, basically. You can misdirect it though. Blasphemous Act, pretty interesting. I don't know, like, I haven't looked at Godo lists in a minute, so I don't know, like, how stocked this is, but kind of cool to see a Blasphemous Act. Makes sense, you know, if everyone's gonna get off the board, you just play this for like 1 or 2 mana and clean up the whole board. And generally, I can assume that most people are gonna want this to resolve. Whoever has like the permission spell will be like, well, it destroys all the other stuff, so probably good, right? All this makes sense. Molten Duplication. Create a token that's a copy of an artifact creature, except, okay, so it's another Godo. That's cool. You can probably like, oh, you know, be really good with this card. Really good with this card. Oh, it's banned. You could like probably do I don't know, Engineer. You could do Impure Recruiter. What are you recruiting? I guess like getting a Brass Squire or a Welder, that kind of stuff. Yeah, the value. Oh, Trees' Ogre, of course. Troger. I guess the value of this is like a lot less. This is probably just to like get another Godo active, like Godo trigger to get your hammer and then like Helm. Yeah. Free spells. They're not free. Sorry, they're free in the sense that they're like lands that you can replace into spells. I think Shatterskull Smashing makes sense to kill creatures, but this one is just like, sometimes you pop a Gaia's Cradle, you know? I keep saying Rock Thrash is like the best deck, so you know, it's relevant. All this stuff makes sense. That's a nice border. Mind Collapse. Well, that's cool. Sack a mountain, pop something, everything dies to 5 damage. So that makes sense. Return the Favor. Copy in sorcery. Activate. Oh, I like that. Sort of. Do I like this? It's 3 mana cancel sometimes when your opponent like casts a blue spell, or 3 mana misdirect. You could also counter misdirect for 4 mana. But the point is that you also just Godo and copy the trigger. Gross. For 3 mana, that's a lot, but I guess like you don't have anything better to do. So Yowa's Justice. All right. Owner of target artifact creature, mana value 1 or greater, shuffles it, then discover X. That seems pretty good. 2 mana instant, remove Dranith, remove a stacks piece, remove, I don't know, whatever. All this looks like classic Godo cards. Krark Clan Ironworks, that's cool. I haven't seen this in a minute. I haven't seen this in a Godo deck. I know I've seen this card before. That's a pretty cool card. You can tap 4, then just like turn all your tapped rocks into 2 colorless or just your other artifacts. So that seems pretty good. Trinisphere, Throne of Eldraine, let's go. All right, this adds ETB, add a red, and then you can tap to add 4 and only cast mono card. Oh, that's pretty good. That pays itself back, right? That's, you play it, add a red, tap it, and add 4. And you can also tap 3, draw 2 cards. Spend only mana of the chosen color to activate this ability. Okay, that's not that bad. I assume making triple red is like a little difficult, but you know, we're no longer in mana crypt days, so you know, it doesn't matter. That's not like a real drawback anymore. Staff completion, this card's really flexible. I've seen this played in a lot of model color decks. Sting, wait, this is actually straight up called Sting. It's not another card. Has haste. At the beginning of each combat, untype a creature. Oh, that's kind of neat. Why do you need this? At the beginning of each untap equip creature. Well, I guess this is good to block. There's no way you're playing this to like snap it onto Godo to like block, right? It's gotta be you put on a welder or something, or an engineer. Oh, a Jaxus? What were you copying with Jaxus? That's interesting. Can't figure out what the role of that card is. And then our lands. Our lands make sense. All right, so this was our winning list. There's no defense. Oh, there's a defense grade right there. There's a Conqueror's Flail. Okay, so there's a little bit of artifact protection here for our combo, for our big turn. But like, I mean, it's all mostly mana aside from that, which makes sense. Pretty like standard Godo list, I guess, without the fast mana. So pretty cool to see Godo do it. I guess we could quickly take a look at Grixis decks, but I assume there's nothing too exciting or spicy about them. I guess we can try and play spot the difference now that the dockside and the other fast mana has been removed. A welder, that's cool. Is there a citadel here? Beseech, yep, Grim Tutor. Makes sense. I don't think every deck played Grim Tutor before, but Grim Tutor makes sense. We make a lot of mana. Boop, boop. We have a Daze, that's cool. Into the Flood Maw. I think this is the chain. Nope, we still play Chain of Vapor. This is a Psych Rift replacement, right? Yeah. Yep. There it is. Bolas' Citadel. Also a grinding station. The welder's also pretty good because you can weld the defense grid in. So I think that's pretty solid. You can also just like do welding things with like tapped Grim Monoliths. I think welder's pretty good. Necrodog. Yep. That is a Rockside list. And what is this one? T and K. Let's see what this T and K looks like. Oh, this is kind of cool. All right. You know, bunch of draw cards, getting a little grindy with it. I think Fairy Mastermind's really good. A lot of people are like, but then Bone Master kills the Fairy Mastermind. It's like, well, if this card ripped me back 2 or 3 cards for 2 mana, like at instant speed, that's fine. All right, it's cool. Well, like this card being in the meta shouldn't like stop you from playing cards that are really good. And I think this one is like a very good card. This is kind of neat. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, birds, frogs, and otters and rats get untapped. So why do you care about this guy being untapped? Interesting. I mean, this is a bird, right? It still stays a bird, and that's the only bird. Oh, I'm silly. This is lets your spells be cast like as though they had flash. Right, my bad. This is Born Upon a Wind, but on a 3-drop that you can find off. Nope, none of the tutors do it, but you have like black tutors, so it doesn't matter. Toxic Deluge, a little bit of board wipe here. We also have Born Upon a Wind here. So double Born Upon a Wind here to win instant speed. Too bad you can't beat the deck with the combat steps. This is a joke, all right? It's a very good deck. And then, ooh, a Smothering Tide. That's cool. Okay, pretty standard T and K with a Fairy Mastermind and an Archivist of Ogma. Yeah, and a Valley Floodcaller. This one, let's look at the other list. I know, very exciting. There's a Burgie. That's cool, with a little mana battery action. Another Valley Floodcaller to give all your things flash. What's the third card they cut for a ban card? Let's see. So this one doesn't have Citadel. This one, Amphibian Downpour. This is like, yeah, this is Dress Down except on a creature and a Storm. Oh, and it doesn't go away. And oh, that's pretty cool. I'll give you that one. All right, that's pretty cool. I didn't remember this card. I like that. I like that a lot. All right. I'm glad we looked at the third ROG list. the third Grixis deck. All right, so those are all the top 4. Let's look at the rest of the deck because the rest of the list has super cool decks. This is pretty interesting. My friend made this for casual. All right, he's black white. He's Orzhov, and let's see what he does. It's like when you gain 3 or more life, you exile, you flip them, and then once you flip, you can -1 to deal damage equal to the amount of life you've gained. I know the combo in this because my friend did it. I'm pretty certain the same combo. It's the one where you gain infinite life off 2 creatures, then you like flip this dude on a post main phase, and it deals any amount of life to any target. Oh, it's not everyone. So it's the extort, right? I assume it's like the extort being here, that you have like infinite infinite chain, and you have an extort in the command zone. So yeah, there's a Bomberman here, so that works. Let's look at the rest of the deck. This is cool. Brina is very good. Brina just like gets people to attack people for you, and then like your creatures are super big, so in the stalled board state, pretty good. Aluris to bring stuff back. Recruit the card to tutor. We have a Shieldred for when the game gets grindy, you know everyone's drawing cards and losing life. This deck seems very weak to a Toxic Deluge. We have a Tymna, which, yep, you play Tymna in your black-white decks. Children of Corliss. Interesting. I think this one will show up a little bit later. We'll find out the reason for this later. But so far, these creatures make sense. This was not... I expected that there was going to be... I forgot what the combo is called. There's like a flag guy, and then when you target another dude, like it gains life or something. It's like a cleric maybe, when your cleric gets targeted, and you get like infinite life that way. It's a pre-modern combo. So that's what my friend did, and then like just flipped over sword and zonked someone. You could probably play Aether Flux Reservoir there as well, but I don't know, maybe those cards are casual and we're playing in the big boy cEDH land. So, you know, who knows what I'm saying. All the tutors, we have the Wrath of God. We have Live. Oh, this is the other tutor, which is pretty cool. You can also return up to 2 creatures from total mana value 4 from the graveyard to the battlefield, so you can reanimate your, I don't know, dude, total mana value 4 or less, your ranger captain, and then another thing. There's no loop here. It's just a tutor. You can do both though, which is pretty good. This was like played in Pioneer in the Amalia deck, which is brutal when you like kill Amalia like 12 times and they're like, oh, I'm gonna bring back Amalia, or like you thought sees them 50 times and they're like, I top deck a Lively Dirt and find my Amalia. I'm glad that deck is banned. And then this one is a vamp tutor-ish thing. Okay, so we're just playing all the tutors. Angel's Grace, that's really... Oh, there we go. Angel's Grace, Adnaz, classic kind of like black-white combo, I guess. This was like really old. This is like played in Abzan Nas decks, where you go Angel's Grace, Adnaz, and then do we have our Sickening Dreams? There's no Sickening Dreams. We do have an Aether Flux Reservoir. Sickening Dreams lets you discard like X cards from your hand and kill everyone. That might... Maybe that's like too many cards that are dead that are only used as win cons. I guess once you like Adnaz Angel's Grace, it doesn't matter what you do. But to me, that's like a very clean win. So, you know, something to call out. All right, Aether Flux is here, Citadel's here, so where's my Spinning Top? Here's my Spinning Top. Okay, so this is just like, oh, we have Mind Obedience, very good against all the rocks. Also good with the Extort when the game gets a little grindier. Static Prison, interesting. Modern card, I guess. Like, yeah, it hits everything, and there's only 5 turns in the game, so once you play this, that thing's never coming back. We have classic Trouble in Pairs, very good card, probably much more playable here versus 4 color, just because like double white, 4 mana, it's like a lot of slots. But in black and white, we're playing Children of Corliss, so you know we have spots for Trouble in Pairs. Touch of Spirit Realm makes sense. Anything cool about the lands? Nothing super exciting about the lands. All right, so this is just like straight up black-white combos. And then like you have a Sorin over here. I guess like you just tutor based on your board position. You just like tutor for Salvager combo or your Adnaz, I guess. And then you just like go for it. There's a Yogsville here too. I kind of missed that. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I was hoping there'd be like more... What is it? More life-based combos I haven't seen before. This one, it's Michael Levine. We don't have to look at this deck anymore. No, it's just Blue Farm, but they're small. They're like small blue farm. It's like it's the, what is it called? The Stranger Things people. I don't watch Stranger Things. Yeah. Wait, it was wrong. That's why I didn't recognize it, because I knew these two were the 4-color one, like the Sans whatever. These are the wrong guys. All right, Michael. Let's look at your list. This is a friend, so I get to trash this list. We have Darcy, which is cool. I like Darcy a lot, but we don't like Michael, so Darcy's bad. But I do like Darcy though. With the grinding station, this just makes your grinding station loop so much easier. Volatile Storm Drake, I like this because if you're poor and can't afford Gilded Drake, which most of us can't, great card. We like talked about this for like a minute actually. I think Volatile Storm Drake might be better because the card actually goes away if you don't want it. Like the creature like you take. Yeah, this is just blue farm, except like it's small. And then you get to play Lurrus in the companions, which is like kind of hot. So like let's look at all the cool Lurrus cards. You have a copy artifact, Lotus Petal. What else? You could just replay most of the stuff here, which is pretty cool. What else? There's a LDV, so you play this when the game's like not going long enough, and you're like, I really want this game to go to time, so I'm gonna play a Limdol's Vault and make sure this goes as long as possible. And just like kind of him-haw every trigger here. LDV is a fine card. I just like think it's very annoying. Skirk Prospector, you could bank your mana and then replay him again. You could also turn Goblin Welder into like another mana source or your engineer. So a bit of goblins today. Oh, we also Gilded Drake here. I missed that. Yeah, this is pretty standard, except it's smaller. Too bad, it didn't win. All right, let's talk about the Yam Gang. Let's go. I'm going to do a separate video on Tayam because Tayam like deserves sort of a separate video where like Goldfish and all that stuff, because I used to play Tayam. But let's look at what Tayam looks like. We have Tyvar. So Tayam's like a unique kind of like creature based combo deck. If you never played against the Yam, like I don't know, you're in for a treat sort of. But I can see Tayam doing a little bit better now because the meta's like a little slower, and losing Jewel Lotus doesn't really matter because the Yam costs like one of each color and one colorless. So like all it's doing is giving you an extra color, which is not that bad, but also not helping that much. Always the biggest problem of time. This is not time video. Let's get to the deck list. All right, let's look at what cards they're going to be playing. It's mostly all creature combos, so like Tyvar makes sense. Tyvar being able to give your activations haste, bring creatures back, makes sense. I saw this person win in a really cool fashion with Allosaurus Shepherd. So you activate 6, turn your Devoted Druid into a 5/5, so you can put 3 -1/- counters on it and have Tayam remove them, and like you flip through your whole deck. So let me read what Tayam does, actually. Tayam, you other creatures ETB with additional vigilance counter on it. Then you can tap 3, remove 3 counters from amongst creatures you control, flip over top 3 cards, then you put a permanent card with CMC 3 or less from your graveyard to battlefield. Doesn't have to be from what you flipped. So Tayam is kind of good because you get to spend some mana and like kind of pseudo draw or like cheat in a thing into the battlefield. The hard part is getting the counters on it. Not time video. Let's keep going. So Allosaurus Shepherd here gets your spells through. Also tap 6, turn Devoted Druid into a 6/6 or 5/5, and then you got like infinite mana, flip over your deck and win. Archon makes sense. Archon turn 1 is the grossest thing in the world, but that no longer is possible or very difficult because Mana Crypt's gone. Even Interrupter, that's a new card. When it ATBs, exile target spell becomes plotted and it costs 2 more to cast. Plotted is without paying mana, so it's just taxing it. But it can make it wait. From graveyards or exile costs 2 more to cast. So you could hit a counterspell and they could use a counterspell later for 2. Okay, that's what I was checking. That's kind of neat. I guess also just like a pseudo good stacks piece because like you put it in and like anyone who has to breach will have to like add 2 more to each spell, which kind of breaks one of their lines. Mind Sensors, classic. Bartolomeo del Presidio. Sacrifice another creature artifact for +++ encounter on Bartolome. That's pretty cool. There has to be a combo here. So here's the thing I can't do is I can't spot all the combos in one go. This thing has to be like somewhat related to a combo, but I can see that the fact that it has +++ encounter, it'll do that. Is it right next to it? Whenever one or more is put on this thing, you get a 0/1 Eldrazi spawn. Whenever one or more, does that mean it's playing, what is it called? The blade of the vampire guy Probably, maybe. All right, oof to oof all the artifacts. Carrion Feeder, probably part of another combo. Delighted Halfling, Dranith, Eidolon. So there's a little stacksy, a little bit of stacks. A lot of mana. Fanatic of Rodness, that's cool. That's a cool card. All right, we have Hex Drinker. Is this, oh, that's pretty cool. I was gonna say, is all this doing being a big beater? But no, because the level up counters, you just sink your mana to add counters. See, that's why Mana Gorger Hydra is really good. I had to talk about this with the Yam Gang, and I thought this was like a necessary piece because, as I said earlier, Tayam's only struggle, not only, the main struggle is having counters to activate. You kind of have mana, it's not an issue, play dorks, but having counters and to fuel the flip is like the hardest part. So Hydra's great because Hydra just gives you counters off free spells or like your spells your opponents are casting. But Hex Drinker lets you sink all your unused mana at sorcery speed to just then give you the fuel to do the thing. So I wonder if there's a combo here. Maybe, I don't know, but that seems useful. I can't read that card, so I'm not gonna look at it. This one, you exile a card when it attacks and it comes back and it comes up with a +1/+1 counter. Oh, on the guy. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, Recruiter, makes sense, finds you the things. Okay, Rosy Cotton, this is the combo with Basking Brute Scale. So this just makes infinite mana, right? Because you add a counter, when you create a token, you get infinite counters and also infinite mana. Oh, and then you sacrifice a Scion to make your infinite mana and then flip over your whole deck of Tayam. Oh, that's pretty cool. All right, 6 is a good card. We talked about this in other deck texts. Stranglerootgeist. This, oh god. I studied so hard on Tayam on how it worked. And Stranglerootgeist and Young Wolf was like part of the thing because you can pod these creatures. You can pod them and then remove the counter from Tayam and then find like other pieces. I don't remember anymore how this works, but Geist and Young Wolf are very important to this deck. So, okay, that makes sense. This is a cool card. Pulls for each creature card in the graveyard, sacrifice another creature, and find a land. So it finds a Gaia's Cradle, right? Yeah. All right, rest of the deck. This all makes sense. This is interesting. I like this card in Rogthras because we're a Cradle deck and we make a lot of green. This one, I guess we do make a lot of green. I'm just like kind of concerned about the triple color for Tayam, but who knows. This is cool. What else? Soul Cauldron. Oh, this makes Soul Cauldron with Tayam makes it so good. Why aren't we playing Tayam? 1,000-Year Elixir does the same thing as what's his face does. Tyvar does, right? It gives activate abilities haste. Ashnod's Altar. So, oh god. Ashnod Altar, Young Wolf, and Tayam. So you sack Young Wolf, make 2 colorless. Young Wolf comes back with 1 Undying and a Vigilance counter. And if you have Stranglerootgeist, you sack a Stranglerootgeist, comes back with Vigilance counter. You have 4 colorless. Then you eat both of the +1/+1 counters. Oh my god. That's infinite. There has to be like other infinites there as well, but that's cool. You know what? Looking at this deck makes me want to play the Yam. Not gonna lie. Oh, there's Insidious Roots. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, this deck looks pretty sick. Birthing Ritual makes sense. So this is the fixed birthing pod, and I assume we just have broken birthing pod. Actually, we don't. We just have the fixed one, but it's because it's cheaper, I guess. You sack a creature, you look at the top 7 at your end step. Actually, no, this is how it works. On your end step, you look at the top 7. Then you can sacrifice a creature, and if you do, you put a creature mana value X or less from among those cards onto the battlefield, where X is the 1 plus the sacrifice creature's mana value. So basically, if you see a 3 mana value creature, you sacrifice your 2 mana value creature to cheat it in. So that's how it works. Earthcraft, that makes sense. You just kind of make mana. Wild Growth, I mean, that's just infinite. No, not infinite. Calm down. Wait a second. It's kind of infinite, right? Earthcraft, Wild Growth, Young Wolf, and Stranglerootgeist. Is there ways to eat counters? Oh, wait a second. If I have a Wild Growth and a land, Earthcraft, and Ashnod's Altar, I need to get 3 counters. I'm so close. There has to be a way to win. There has to be an infinite mana way to win with that, right? Devoted Druid, put -1/-1 on it twice. Untap the land twice. Oh, it dies. Curious. Okay, there has to be a combo. I can't figure it out right now. Okay, this is not a time video, so we'll move on. There's plenty of other cool decks to look at, but this one, put a bookmark on this one. This one's sick. Good job, Benny Jackson. All right, Cecily. This is just like, what, 4-color Stranger Things again? Except this time you have a Cecily. Oh no, it's Sans White. All right, now it's a cool deck. Now it's super cool deck. Let's take a look at what they have. So 11 like draws a card, and then like, what is it? If you have 11 or more cards, you may cast an instant sorcery without paying it. It's kind of cool. And Max, I play this in my casual deck. When you cast your second spell, you untap a creature and investigate. So if you play a second spell, untap a dork, and you also have a card draw. So kind of neat. What is that? I can't read that. Oh, Ignoble Hierarch. What is that? That's Llanowar Elf. This whole deck is just unreadable cards. Valley Flood Caller again. So I guess just for the flash. We have Calling Writ. What else? What other cool card do we have here? I mean, it's all like kind of good cards. After that, there's nothing. What is that? Arcane Signet. Great. More cards I can't read. So that's a cute Soul Ring. Another Amphibian Downpour. That's cool. All right. So it's just like kind of good cards. And then you can draw on your second spell. Don't know how I feel about this one. But that's cool though. All right. Queen Kayla bin Kroog. Let's try and figure this one out. Let's see what this is about. Queen Kayla bin Kroog lets you discard all the cards in your hand, draw, so it lets you wheel for yourself. Then you can choose an artifact or creature card of mana value 1 or less you discarded, and then do the same for, you find a 1, 2, and a 3 and you return them. So you dump your hand, draw a fresh hand, and then bring in 3 things if you can. So the mana value kind of matters. Another Aven Interrupter. All right. I guess I didn't notice. That's the card we're playing now. Brawlin, which is funny because this turns all your wheels into like damage. Same thing for Glinthorn Buccaneer. I wonder if there's a combo here. I don't know about it, but we'll see. Kiki Jiki, which means we have, what's it called? The guy? No, we don't have the guy. We don't have the guy that gives you infinite combats. Oh, Village Bellringer, that works. All right, we're playing a cheaper one. That's fine. Razor Kin Needlehead. This is a new one. Whenever opponent draws a card, deals 1. Is it just straight up here to do damage? I guess. Unless there's ways to wheel your opponents. Psychosis Crawler. Oh, wait a second. Okay. Maybe there... Yeah, each time you draw a card, each opponent loses 1 life. Okay. Marvin has all the activated abilities, so this one copies whatever you have in Queen Kayla bin Kroog, or whatever else. Goblin Welder. A lot of welders today. What else? What else is here? Oswald. So we have a bunch of we have a little bit of artifact kind of like tutoring here. Let's see if we can solve this one. Transfer Glory. I like that. I like Transfer Glory. Great extra turn spell. Another Glorious End. All right, this is all. We're here to just win and nothing else, right? Untimely Malfunction. Destroy a target artifact. Change this. Oh, it's a misdirect. Or something can't block. So being able to pop, being in a braid and a misdirect is actually quite good. I haven't seen this card, so I'm gonna put that one in the AI database, I guess, for spice picks. Amrit's Archive. When you draw a card, you draw double, I believe. Yeah, except for the first one. If you gain life, you gain double, but who cares about that one? Library of Lang. If a card forces you discard, you may choose to discard the top, so you mill the top. And if the discard's random, okay, wait a second. How does Library of Lang work with Queen Kayla bin Kroog? Because you're not discarding. What does Queen... You may choose an mana value 1, you discard it. So Library of Lang just makes you mill yourself, right? You must skip the discard. If a card forces you to discard, you may choose to discard the top of your library rather than the graveyard. Oh, so you can hold on to cards or mill yourself. That's neat. This is a color fixer. So we have an infinite mana way to infinite colorless mana, so we can filter this to color, I guess. What else? Mycosynth Lattice. What? We have a little bit of stacks. We have a staff of, so if you make infinite colorless, you can draw your deck and do whatever you want. A Vexing Bauble. I don't know if I've seen the other decks play it. Non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. That's kind of cool. Whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, put a thingy. If there are 3 more, sacrifice it, you draw a card. You may search your library for a Plains card. Oh, so if 3 opponents any player plays it, then you draw a card and get a land tapped. Okay, that's kind of interesting. I feel like your opponents can play through that pretty easily, but maybe the difference in tempo is enough and you get stuff back. Okay, I mean, here's some more stacks. Double Blood Moon effect. I saw there's a Magus of the Moon. A High Noon, so another rule law effect. So this is kind of stacksy. I mean, all this stuff can come back in from a Queen Kayla bin Kroog, from the Queen, But I assume we're winning with this Zerda here. And then what? And then you have your like Grim Monolith, right? And then your Basalt Monolith. And then making infinite mana. Why is there Mycosynth Lattice? That's what I'm trying to figure out. There's also a Rings of Brighthearth, but then that is just for this stuff, I assume, to make infinite mana. So why is there a Mycosynth Lattice? Is it to just Mycosynth Lattice Karn to shut off all their mana? That's really funny if it is. But there's no way that's like the case, right? I guess so. Wait, so what do you even do if you have infinite colorless? Because there's also, I think I saw, Staff of Dom draws you your deck, and what else? Is there a way to untap your thing? There's no other untapper. So I guess this deck is just, what is this? This is Loyal Retainer. I can't read it. This deck, I guess, is just stacks, and then Queen, Kayla and Kroog helps you cheat in spells, so because you don't have to play them. So there's definitely a Trinisphere here, right? There's definitely a Trinisphere here, right? There's no Trinisphere. Oh, there is right here. Yeah, you just go asymmetric on those, and then you can assemble a combo of infinite colorless mana, and then win somehow. I guess finding a way you can maybe loop the untaps and like draw everyone to death. Yeah, untap target creature. So if you have infinite color, it doesn't matter though. If you have staff domination, you just draw your deck. Interesting. Very interesting. I must be missing something here. But from what I'm seeing here, that kind of seems like what the plan is. And then Brawlin, Shabraz just turns that, not just Brawlin and Glinthorn just turns that into damage. There has to be a way. I mean, this costs 2 less with Zerd, right? Yeah, it costs 2 less, so this only costs 2. There's no way to untap it, right? No, I don't see it. I think you just draw a lot of cards and then flip things over. And that's cool enough for itself. I don't see why these cards are here. Probably just to make it into a win, I guess. Because you can draw infinite cards and what do you do with it, right? Post-combat, maybe you or Kiki Jiki Village Bellringer, or you locked yourself out and you can't generate infinite colored mana. I don't know. Wait a second. Queen lets you cheat in a lot of stuff. And with all the stuff, you win. I'm going to assume that if you have infinite mana, you win. That's like a safe assumption. But that's pretty cool, though. It's like what is it? It's kind of like Winota, except it goes out on different axes, right? Because Winota is like, I play stacks, and then I turn some of the stacks creatures into triggers and win through combat. This one's like, I play stacks, and under a stacks board, I try and go asymmetrical by bringing stuff in, and those things will then combo and win the game, which actually sounds more like Tayam the more I think about it. So this is like pseudo Tayam. All right, what else is cool? We have a TNT right here. Good job for bringing TNT top 16. Probably the only... I'm kidding. I know a TNT won another event or something. And then what else? Rogsai, and Tivit. That's it. I want to see this. This is cool. A Master of Keys. I gotta see this. All right, that's the last deck we'll look at today. All right, because I know this is probably going a little longer. All right, what does this guy do? This is a new guy. You pay 3 mana. It's 3 and an X. Put X counters, then mill twice of X. Each enchantment has escape. And escape cost equal to mana value plus 3. Okay, so you escape things. Oh. So, infinite mana. I don't know. I see Abdel Adrian and Displacer Kitten here. My brain's about to explode. Oh my god, there's a Grand Abolisher. Or Grand Arbiter. How is this deck gonna work? There is a Hedron Crab. Oh god. Alright, how is this deck gonna work? Well, first of all, Teferi, Kitten, Amber, Infinite Mana. We know that one. That was the old Tivit days, right? Like that's like the OG kind of like Tivit. The OG Tivit combo is the artifact that makes infinite turns. But this one kind of came up during that time too. So anyways. Alright, so Hedron Crab, that's pretty funny. It lets you... Oh, wait a second. You don't have to. You can just play this for 3 mana and all your enchantments have escape. Very curious about the enchantments then. Polywog Prodigy. Surprisingly enough, not that many other Polywog Prodigies. This is the first one I've seen with it. Another Valley Flood Caller. Is this just like a good card? Should everyone be playing this? Should I be playing this? Maybe. Razaketh. So we got an Animate Dead here. We got an Animate Dead. You mill yourself. You mill a Razaketh. And you play your lure. You either use Luris on your Master of Keys to escape and Animate Dead and win the game. All right, we're trying to piece it together. I still don't know what the Displacer Kid and the Abdel Adrian's animate dead. Duh, right? You exile the animate dead, it comes at least battlefield, you make a 1/1, and then it comes back in, brings up the Abdel Adrian infinite 1/1s, and then what do you do with the 1/1s? I don't know. There has to be another thing. I don't know what Kitten's for, so Kitten we haven't solved yet. Arby's is very interesting here. I gotta say, that's a very cool card. I've tried this out in Sisei because we've experimented with this in T and K. I know, calm down. There's experiment, all right? That's why it doesn't show up anymore. But the idea that this kind of makes is asymmetrical, where like your spells cost less and your opponent's spells cost more, is like really brutal in cEDH. So there's a video of me on, what's it called? Commander Esmond's channel. Quintessential Commander. We play cEDH and I play Sisei, and I either tutored out Grand Abolisher or played Arby's to lock out the table, and then won kind of like safely. So yeah, kind of same idea as like why you play Thalia or something like that, or like a tax effect. So you shut out all the free counters and then win. So it's Arby's. All these cards make sense. And then all these cards also make sense. And then what is all this? Cursed Totem. Pretty hateful card against the Rock Thras. People should be playing more Cursed Totem. If you can play it, I think you should play it. What else? Kind of standard. Animate Dead. See, I knew it. Blind Obedience. Cool card. Counterbalance. All right, we're here to play. We're here to play the mid-range game. We have Dance the Dead, same thing as Animate Dead, sort of. I know there's slight differences, but for the fact of what we're doing, it's the same thing. Another amphibian. Okay, so this one though, this one has escape, so makes more sense. Necromancy is the same thing, and Tiny Bones joins up. What is this doing in cEDH? Let's take a read. When it enters the battlefield, a number of players each discard a card to target each person. Whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, boom, Abdel Adrian WinCon. We assembled it right there. We figured it out. Okay, so the rest of the deck, yeah, looks right. Haven't figured out Displacer Kitten. Let's figure out what the Kitten does. Okay, why are we playing Kitten? When you cast a non-creature spell, exile it to 1, then return it onto your battlefield control. So what is this? Oh, wait a second. It's Kitten 3 Fairy Amber, right? That was the whole line. It's not just Teferi Amber. Yeah, I think that's it. Because you bounce the Amber, nothing happens. So you play the Amber, you flick the Teferi. All right, we solved the deck. Cool. Okay, we did it. Ooh, all right. This deck is pretty cool. I kind of wish there's a little bit more enchantment stuff here. I really like where it's going with the Hedron Crab. So, kind of want to build this. Because, like, grinding station's, like, somewhat valid here, right? What if you value Brain Freeze yourself, and then you like, I don't know, bring in a Chthonian Nightmare, and the Chthonian Nightmare, we're brewing, we're cooking, Chthonian Nightmare brings back something. We'll cook this another time. But this is probably the deck that wins events, and my version will be the one that like looks good on stream once, and then no one plays it. So, all right, that is the top 16, top 19 of SCGCon DC cEDH 5K. Super cool Godo one. Less cool, there's just like all the good decks up here, but hey, that's how it goes. Good decks are good for a reason, right? But still pretty cool to see all these other decks down here, right? Like a different turn order, a coin flip, a different draw might have changed the top 4, where it could have been like Tayam, Godo, probably not Sorin, because I think they're the same pod, right? Not speaking ill of Sorin. I mean, Queen Kayla, been Kroog, and then like maybe Master Keys, right? That could have been a super cool top 4. So let me know what you think of these decks. Which one do you want to see me try brewing? Which one are you most excited about, or just what you think, right? Do you like this video? Do you like tournament recaps? I don't do them. Let me know. If you want a good deck though, you should definitely check out my Rock Thras deck. That's the one. That's the truth. All right. I know I don't explain the combo well, but just watch it. It's just good. Okay. Bye. Oh, subscribe to my Patreon, because we like brew decks there. So we might brew some of these. I don't know. Just like do it. Support. Okay. Goodbye for real.